Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to learn about one of the most important systems in your body, the excretory system. This presentation will guide you through kidney functions and nephron structure, specially designed for your O-level examination preparation. By the end of this lesson, you will understand how your body removes waste and how exam questions on this topic should be answered. Let's start with the basic definition. What exactly is excretion? Excretion is the removal of metabolic waste products from the body. Now, what does metabolic waste mean? When your cells perform chemical reactions to keep you alive, like breaking down food for energy, they produce waste. Just like a factory produces smoke, your cells produce waste that must be removed. The main metabolic wastes include urea, which is made when your liver breaks down excess proteins, carbon dioxide, produced by every cell during respiration, excess water, which your body doesn't need, excess salts, like sodium, which can be harmful in large amounts. Remember, excretion is not the same as egestion. Egestion is removing undigested food from the digestive system. Excretion is removing wastes made by your cells. Now let's talk about the lungs, your body's natural exhaust system. What do the lungs excrete? First, carbon dioxide, or CO2. This is a waste gas from cellular respiration. Second, water vapor, or H2O. This is produced during metabolism. How does this work? Here's the process. During cellular respiration, your cells use oxygen and glucose to produce energy. One of the byproducts is carbon dioxide. This CO2 dissolves into your blood and travels through your veins until it reaches your lungs. When you breathe out or exhale, the CO2 and water vapor are removed from your body. So every time you exhale, you are performing excretion. Simple, right? Now we move to the kidneys, the main stars of the excretory system. Let's look at the structure of a kidney. If we cut a kidney in half, we can see three main regions. First, labeled P, this is the cortex. The cortex is the outer region of the kidney. It looks a bit grainy because it contains the nephrons, the tiny filtering units. This is where blood first enters for filtration. Second, labeled Q, this is the medulla. The medulla is the inner region. It contains the collecting ducts that help concentrate the urine and balance water in your body. Third, labeled R. This is the pelvis. The pelvis is a funnel-shaped cavity that collects urine from all the collecting ducts. From here, urine travels down the ureter to the bladder for storage. Remember these three regions: cortex outside, medulla inside, and pelvis collecting urine. Now let's zoom in. Each kidney contains over 1 million tiny filtering units called nephrons. They are the functional units of the kidney, meaning they actually do the work of filtering blood and producing urine. Look at this diagram. Let me explain each labeled part. X is the glomerulus and Bowman's capsule. This is the filtration site. Blood enters here under high pressure, and small molecules like water, salts, glucose, and urea are forced out into Bowman's capsule. This fluid is now called glomerular filtrate. Y is the tubules, specifically the proximal and distal tubules. This is the reabsorption site. As the filtrate flows through these tubes, useful substances like glucose, some water, and some salts are reabsorbed back into the blood. The body keeps what it needs. Z is the collecting duct. This is where final urine is collected and concentrated. The urine here is now ready to travel to the pelvis, then to the ureter, and finally to the bladder. This is a very important slide for your exams. Let's compare the fluid at points X, Y, and Z. At X, the glomerular filtrate. What does it contain? Glucose, amino acids, salts, urea, and water. In fact, it's very similar to blood plasma, just without the large proteins and blood cells. At Y, the tubular fluid. What has changed? the glucose has been completely reabsorbed. The amounts of water and salts are being adjusted based on what your body needs. At Z, this is now urine. It contains concentrated waste, mainly urea, some salts, and water. But notice, there is no glucose in urine. A healthy kidney should reabsorb all glucose back into the blood. If you ever find glucose in urine during a medical test, it could be a sign of diabetes. That's why this is important. Let's quickly revise everything we've learned today. This is your quick revision guide for the exam. Number 1, excretion definition. It is the removal of metabolic wastes, including urea, CO2, excess water, and excess salts from the body. Number 2, lung excretion. The lungs remove carbon dioxide and water vapor during exhalation. Number 3, kidney structure. 3 regions to remember: Cortex, P, Medulla, Q, and Pelvis, R. Number 4, nephron function. The nephron is the functional unit of the kidney. It filters blood and produces urine. Number 5, fluid changes in the nephron. At X, filtrate has glucose. At Y, glucose is reabsorbed. At Z, urine has no glucose. Thank you.